A warm welcome to all the students. I'm Chef Preeti Sinhal, an assistant professor at AISSMS CHM City College of Pune. Over here, I'm explaining the chapter stocks. I've divided that chapter into two sections, two parts. This is part 1, where I will walk you through to understand the history, definition, and composition of stock. Then I will summarize the role of various ingredients in the production of stock. What are the golden rules of stock making and various types of stocks. Whenever we are understanding or preparing anything, we always want to know the history, and we should know the history. So I'll walk you through a little history of stock. We all know the great name of the Chef Escoffier, who has brought the nouvelle cuisine to the world. The preparation of stocks has been simplified in many ways since the days of Chef Escoffier. He has put the kitchen operation in a disciplined manner, which saved a lot of cost, time, and efforts of the kitchen personnel. In his nouvelle cuisine, he has reduced the preparation time of various dishes by providing common bases for the cooking process without hampering the taste, texture of the end product. And stock was one, or I would say stock is one of them. Escoffier perceived stock as one of the principal culinary preparation because they form the base for many other preparations. Although it has been simplified, but that does not mean that it demands less skill or care. Now I will explain what is the definition of stock. A stock is a flavorful liquid made by gently simmering bones or vegetables in a liquid to extract their flavor, aroma, color, body, and nutritive value. And in other word or simplifier word, a stock may be defined as a clear, thin liquid flavored by soluble substances which has been extracted from the meat, poultry, and fish and their bones, and from vegetables and seasoning. It is at most important to select the proper ingredients and extract the flavor which we want, and combine those ingredients or the correct ingredients with the correct procedure, which makes or which takes out the best result out of it. A stock's taste should be definite enough to allow for easy identification, but it should not be strong enough to compete with the other ingredients used in finishing the dish. It is also called as fond in French culinary terms, which means the base or the foundation. Stock is a flavored liquid used as base for sauces, soups, gravies, and stews or braised dishes. As I said, it is a supporting structure for the finished product. Without a well-made stock, it is difficult to produce high-quality cuisine, considered one of the building blocks of various cooking. Now we'll understand what are the components of a stock. They have been divided into 4 different names. Under that, the first one is nutritive ingredients. Second is aromatic ingredients. Third is liquid ingredient and the seasoning. So now I will explain you one by one these ingredients. Nutritive ingredients, as the name suggests, they provide us nutrition. Under that, meat, bones, fish, poultry, and mild flavor vegetables are kept. Bones are the major ingredients of the stock. I would say, except water, of course. Most of the flavor and body of the stocks is derived from the bones of beef, veal, chicken, fish, and occasionally lamb, pork, ham, and game can be used. Now there are 2 basic facts that we should understand about bones. When certain connective tissues called collagen break down, they form gelatin. This gives body to the stock, an important feature of its quality. A well-made stock will thicken on even solidify when chilled. Another, the cartilage is also best source of gelatin in bones. Younger animals have more cartilage in their skeleton. Knuckle bones on the joints of major bones have a lot of cartilage and are valued in stock making. Now the large bones are cut into smaller pieces around 3 inches long. These exposes more surface area and adds maximum extraction. Now these smaller pieces are easier to handle also, and it fits easily into the stock pot. Now we'll move to the aromatic ingredients, which is again divided into 4 parts: mirepoix, bouquet garni, herbs, and the first one is mirepoix. It is pronounced as mirepoix, which is a combination of onion, carrots, and celery. It is a basic flavoring preparation which is used in all area of cooking, not only flavoring for stocks but also sauces, soup, meat, poultry, fish, and vegetable dishes. 2 parts of onion, 1 part of celery, and 1 part of carrots are used, which has been diced or roughly chopped and added to the stock. Basically, it adds flavor. We'll move to the next, which is bouquet garni. It is a French term. In that, bouquet means bundle and garni means herbs. Means a bundle of herbs usually tied together with string. The reason of tied together, tied them with a string is it is easier later to take them out from the stock. Classically, it contains no spices but only herbs, and mostly in that parsley, thyme, bay leaf, and celery. Next, we'll move to herbs and spices. Mostly stocks are flavored with 3 herbs: thyme, bay leaf, and parsley, as we talk about, and 1 spice, which is black peppercorn. Herbs and spices should be only used as light. They should never dominate a stock or have a pronounced flavor. Normally, these are tied in cheesecloth bag, which is called sachet or sachet. This sachet is tied by a string to the handle of a stock pot, so it can be removed easily at any time. Next, liquid ingredients. In that, they are the major part of the stock, any stock. In that, the first one is water. I would talk about remoulade, which is rewetting. This is nothing like when we make a stock, then after straining, whatever the leftover is there, again the more water is added to it and extracted more flavor, though it will be weak in the flavor, but that can be used as a base for new stock making. That is known as remoulade. Now we'll move to the wine, which is again kind of a acidic product. Acid helps dissolving connective tissues. Thus, they are sometimes used in stock making to extract flavor and body from the bones. Normally, wine is occasionally used, especially for fish stock. Its flavor contribution is more important than its acidity. One more product under that is tomato product, which is contribute flavor and some acid to the brown stock. Seasoning. Under seasoning, salt is used, which is in a very, very minute quantity, or some of the chefs do not use at all salt in the stock because later they will be used in many more dishes. And while making stock, it is a reduced liquid. So it is possibility that it might become salty. But if it is used in a minute quantity, it helps to bring out the natural flavor in the stock. Now, as we understood what are the ingredients, what is the history, how it has been used, it is very, very important that we know the rules. So there are some few rules which we need to take care to bring out the best out of our skill, out of the best ingredients which we have used. So wherever we use the stock or stock as a base, the outcome should come always best. So these rules are: cold water, simmer, never boil, skim frequently, strain carefully, cool quickly, store properly, and degrease. Now, I will walk you through one by one to all these rules. So first one is cold water. Cover the ingredients with clean cold water. Starting in this manner allows the blood and the protein to dissolve. As the temperature rises, we all know the protein coagulates, that means solidify, and floats to the surface where they can be skimmed off if they were started in If they were started in hot water, the protein would solidify, stick to the bones, and then disperse in the stock, making it cloudy and muddy tasting. So it is very, very important that we start with the cold water. The next golden rule is simmer, never boil. Why it is so important? The stock should be brought to a boil and then immediately reduced to a simmer. At a simmer, the ingredients releases the maximum flavor without breaking down into particular manner. In the boiling, there is a lot of agitations of the molecules of water, right? Which makes the meat or the other ingredients to break down, and which turns our stock into milky or cloudy. So to avoid that, it is very important that as soon as the first boil comes, we bring down it to simmer. If a stock boils for even a few minutes, the fat will emulsify in the stock and stock will become cloudy, as I said, making for a poor performance. A muddy taste will come and it will spoil. We'll move to the next, which is skim frequently. Skimming the coagulated masses of the surface of the stock throughout the cooking process decreases the likelihood of the clouding the stock. Next, we'll move to strain carefully. This involves a china cap, that is an instrument like equipment which we use, which is set inside of a chinoise. In order to use the stock, we must prepare the solids. We must separate the solids from the liquid. While doing so, it is important not to disturb the solids in the bottom of the pot. So we can follow a procedure where skim a fat from the surface, then remove the stock from the heat and carefully ladle the stock out of the pot without stirring the stock. And then pour the stock through the china cap set inside of a chinoise into a sanitized metal container. It is very, very important that in the container which we are straining should be sanitized, should be clean, so it can have a good shelf life. We'll move to the next, which is cool quickly. It is of the utmost importance that stocks are cooled quickly and with a minimum amount of agitation. Next, store properly. Store in a plastic storage container or sanitized metal container and label the container indicating the contents and date of the stock. Next one is degrease, which is also a very, very important step. Before using the stock, carefully lift the fat cap off the surface of the stock, scraping off all the small bits of fat. Actually, it is always easier to degrease your stock when it is chilled, because all the fat will come at the surface and it will be easily lift off and take care. All preparations depends on the use of fat-free stocks. It is very important that stock needs to be fat-free. Now we'll move to the types of stock. They are divided into basically 4 categories. White stock, which is also known as Fond Blanc. Brown stock, Stuffer. Vegetable stock, Fond de Legume. Then fish stock, which is Fumet de Poisson. We'll walk through one by one. White stock, which is made with white meat or beef, veal bones, chicken carcasses, and aromatic vegetables. It is clear and almost colorless liquid. This stock is used for white sauce, fricassees, then poaching white maize or veloutés. Brown stock, which is amber in color, is made with beef, veal, poultry meat or bones. The bones are roasted till golden in color, not burnt, to be careful. The mirepoix is added when the bones are 3/4 roasted. In this, tomato product may also be added at this time when the bones and mirepoix are golden in color. Then cold liquid is added and the mixture is slowly brought to a boil. then reduced to a simmer. This stock is used for brown sauces and gravies, braised dishes, and meat glazes. As we can see in the picture, in the color, because of the roasting of the bones and vegetables, this takes out the amber color or the dark color. That is why it is known as brown stock. Next, we'll move to the fish stock, which is fumet de poisson. It is categorized separately from the other basic stock because of its limited use. It is strong in flavor and white in color. Fish head, fish carcasses, mirepoix are used along with aromatics. Generally, it is said that oily fish stock tastes little bitter. Fumet is made only from fish stocks. We'll move to the next, which is vegetable stock, which is basically a neutral stock composed of vegetables and aromatic herbs sauteed gently in butter or lightly flavored oil, then cooked in a liquid. This is a relatively actually very mild flavored kind of a stock, which is used in vegetable sauces and mild flavored veloutés. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all got the insight of this stock. Please attempt the quiz given in the description below the video in the YouTube by clicking on the link, especially the SSMS student. If you have any query, please send email to my email address. We will get back to you with the answers. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed.